I don't think we're going to see it happen. I think we're going to be dragged through this whole thing for, all the way to 2008. And then we'll see how desperate Bush gets. If he's going to start pressing the buttons for missiles and nukes and earthquakes and anything else he can come up with, any kind of destruction he can come up with to stay in office so that he can cancel elections. Because during wartime, elections can be nullified. And so if he can prove that this country is in a state of war, then he can cancel elections. And I'm talking about a serious state of a war, not like this, the whole country itself being under attack. You'll find it interesting that in the last week or so he's been pushing out legislation so that in the event we are under attack and leaders have been hurt or whatever, that leaders can be appointed instead of elected. So what they're doing is taking the elections out of the hands of the people and putting it into a dictatorial government saying you can appoint our leaders. And so it almost looks like they're setting up for a destruction or an attack here in America to where we will be missing a lot of leaders. And something I've been talking about that I'd seen in the Bible codes back in 2003, even in 2001, about Congress being blown up in July. An Independence Day attack. And so what do we have? We have Hollywood conditioning us for the same thing. In a movie out, Independence Day, conditioning us for the exact same thing of Congress or some kind of an attack here on our own soil. And so that's what I think their plans are, folks, because Congress itself does no faction any good. It's a pain in the butt to all the factions existing. And so getting rid of Congress would please everybody. And so that's exactly what they're going to do. I think they will do it. I don't know when. But it wouldn't surprise me. Something else I wanted to bring up tonight, because I was kind of floored when I saw it. I've been reading a book that a friend has written. He's going to make it available on my websites in a couple of days. You'll be able to read it for free. But he pointed out something that I just thought was really interesting. An executive order, some kind of legislation order, number HB 1055, which it's 1055 or 1085. Either way, this legislation allows for televised executions. And so I thought that was really I don't know how I missed that one. Usually I keep up to everything on the internet. Because I've seen that so many times to where the deaths of the Lord's people will be televised. And so just imagine how, if literal witnesses, Enoch and Elijah, come to earth, the Bible says the entire world would see them rise and go back to heaven. And so how would they do that? With televisions, with all these TV sets everywhere. It would be a worldwide event. People could see it on television. You could catch the replays for the next 2 weeks. Because of television. And so now with being able, setting this up to where they will televise executions, not only will we see them rise, I imagine we'll see them die. Because they're setting this up as part of the world government for the ability to televise live executions. So I thought that was interesting. Another one being HB 1274, which makes provision for guillotines as a form of execution. And so imagine, folks, if all of these people who are refusing to bow to the beast, to worship the beast, their deaths being on television. They set up a couple of these guillotines in parking lots everywhere, or municipal buildings, wherever they're going to do it, and start chopping off people's heads. And they'll do this as a deterrent. They'll be, oh look, if you don't worship the beast, then we're going to take you over here to this guillotine, this parking lot, and chop off your head. And it's going to be televised for the world to see. And so I've seen this stuff in my spirit for years, and then you see that they've already got legislation passed. It's kind of wild. Sets the stage. If you have a question for the show, folks, you can send a question to SherryTalkRadio@yahoo.com. And it says, "Hi, Sherry. This is the second week that I cannot listen to you live, so I'll have to wait till you post it. It sucks. I waited all week to hear you. Love and peace to you." Well, I don't know why you can't listen to me live. Because you're having some problems off the server, which I wouldn't be surprised. Come to Las Vegas on your road trip or close so I can see and hear you. Las Vegas. You know, that might be on my road trip. For all those out there. I don't know when. I'm not going to say when. Another question from a reader. Maybe the trains are putting the Russian and China peace troops in place for martial law. Could be. Could be, but from what I'm hearing is that, well, they wouldn't need busloads for troops. That's an idea. I mean, we know they're here. We know they've been moving these Russian and German troops all over the United States for years. The only ones I haven't heard about is them moving the Chinese around because they'd be the most obvious. You can stick a police uniform on a Russian or a German and you can't really tell. They're not American unless they speak. Then you know then you notice they've got an accent. You can't do that with the Chinese, with the Asians. And so, how did I ever get to finish my point on that? What I was going to say about these trains, something I always felt, who are these people that they're taking? Because I remember hearing a short blurb years ago, right after 9/11, and that 2,000 people, federal employees, had shown up missing. And so you would think, well, where is the stink that 2,000 federal employees have shown up missing? Why isn't the media saying anything? Why isn't there anything in the newspapers about all these people missing? I even read an article online about a whole family's house being bulldozed over in the middle of the night. Just a complete disappearance of this whole family, and so there was no trace of them. They wanted to hide any trace, and they bulldozed their house in the middle of the night. And I've always said that I believe that before martial law ever happens, before the big mouths are ever picked up, that they will kill their own. And I've always felt it would be the only justice for a while that we would get, is the fact of watching these Satan freaks kill their own first. You know, these Clintons and these Bushes and all these Illuminati families who think they've got it so in tight with Satan, they're not going to be the first ones destroyed when Satan does arrive. And so that's kind of like the laughing justice you can kind of get. Because a lot of these Illuminati families we carted off and killed. Now, a lot of them are promised these protection bases. Oh, join us, work with us, and we'll protect you and your family. And so they've built all these underground cities, supposedly, to protect all of these people. And you know what I think's happening? I think it's these people that have already effectively disappeared out of society, so that people don't even, know they're here one way or the other anyway, because they're working for the government. I think it's these people that they're putting on the trains. I think it's these people. I think they're eliminating their problem of feeding and housing all these people underground already. It's kind of like as your usefulness is up now. Let's say you had a job of, organizing one of these agencies underground, and you got everybody in place, and you got the computer work in place, so everything could function smoothly. Then the aliens move in, take over your job, and they put you on a train. I think that's exactly